the concept of forgiveness. How to forgive anyone and everyone, and why is this skill even important? That's what we're going to be discussing in this video. So we start from the basis, the concept that lays at the bottom of this whole process, and that is the concept of Sophia, which says that in this universe everything is always right. And you ask, how is that possible? How can this be right? If this person hurt me, this person did me wrong, and this cannot possibly be right. That's the logic, which makes you think that you need to forgive this person somehow. So that's what we're going to be breaking down. So the main idea is that everything is right the way it is. And if something seems wrong to you, it means that there is something you don't understand about this situation or the process. So let's break it down. Forgiveness is a skill that we learn by working, mostly focusing on two main people in your life, your mother and your father. So if you think you need to forgive someone else in your life, that is just a result of the basic anger or resentment that you have towards one of those two people or both of them. I'll explain why and how, but the logic is this. First, we need to forgive these two people. We need to understand how to do this. If you manage to forgive these two, your parents, then others will be just so much easier, because your anger to any other person in your life is a reflection of anger that you have to one of your parents or to both. So we should work with the root of this problem. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's start from the moment of your birth. Before your birth, in order to incarnate, you had to choose a couple of humans who would be technically in perfect resonance with your consciousness, with your level of development and your state before the moment of incarnation. So before incarnating, you were, by the law of attraction, searching, but more like attracting towards a couple who would have two specific characteristics. Because in order to incarnate, you need both male and female frequencies given to you, like to receive the physical body. So you would need a mother, specific characteristics of the mother, who in this equation is responsible for the depth of your consciousness. Depth is the mother, width is the father. So these are two principles, these principles of gender, which represent ability of consciousness to expand. On the masculine side, the father is responsible for your future ability to expand. So that characteristic you will be searching for in your future parent, in your future father. So how you choose parents? You choose a mother who perfectly reflects your level of intelligence or depth. So how deep you are, how intelligent you are. You will be exactly as deep and exactly as intelligent as your mother. And you will be exactly as expansive or aggressive as your father. So father is responsible for aggressiveness, mother is responsible for intelligence. Depth with these two characteristics, male and female. And in order to incarnate, you need to find this perfect match. of like technical, it's technical thing. It's characteristics like on the frequency level. It should be a perfect match to what you are. These two together must, the sum of these two people, sum of these two consciousnesses should be equal to your consciousness. So if to demonstrate it, I just want to illustrate for you so that you get the idea clearer. If we show, like for example, like a wave, if I draw a wave, like a function, like sinusoid function, and a wave of movement of consciousness, in this wave we will have the upper part and the lower part going up and down. The upper part of the wave would be this upper phase is the masculine potential of your consciousness. The down part, lower part, would be the feminine part of your potential. So these two, this function would describe, like the whole function altogether describes you as a consciousness with your potential. Your potential, you have a potential to create a wave of this size. I'm just simplifying, but doing my best to get the idea through. So your father is responsible for the top of this function, for how high you can go or how wide you can spread, how aggressively you can take space in this physical reality. That's the masculine principle, and that's on this function, that's the upper part of the function, that's your father. And your mother is the depth of this. How deep can you go into understanding of this reality, yourself and creation and so on. For the depth, the feminine is responsible and her intelligence. So here we go. Your mother is half of this function, your father is another half of this function, and this is their maximum potential as living beings. In order to incarnate, you search for a couple which would, like, whose sum of their potentials would equal to your potential. I hope I'm explaining it clear enough. So basically, when you incarnate into a family, you automatically, we can say that you are twice as large in potential as each one of your parents. You are a sum of their potentials. If one of them creates a wave of this size, another one creates a wave of this size, you will create a wave of double of their size. And what is this wave? It's the potential of your consciousness, how big you can go, how deep you can go, how big of a life or things you can create, and how much love you're able to produce, and how much love you will be able to take in. That's the potential of your consciousness, how much you're going to be able to expand, how much you're going to be able to, how deep you're going to be able to contract. That's how much love you're going to be able to shine out, how much love you're going to be needing and being able to take in. That's the capacity of how much energy you spread, how much energy you're able to take in. That's the sum of these two elements gives us a result of your potential. So, right from the beginning, right from the moment of birth, technically, I want you to understand that when you incarnate in your family, automatically, by the fact that you incarnated with these specific parents, this fact of your incarnation already means that you are bigger than them. You're greater than them. You are like an upgraded version of your mother, and you're an upgraded version of your father. You're basically an upgrade of both of them. You are double in size of each one of them. So this logic is important. You are bigger than them. Your potential is twice as large as each one of them has. And your your size and weight is bigger, so you are an upgraded version already. So now imagine you are like you are a parent and you have a child born in your family who is potentially twice as strong as you, like energetically, mentally, whatever, in any whatever possibility and ability. You are 100% of the case, like in all cases, everywhere, all the time. That's just a law. Every child is greater than parents. Every child is an upgraded version of parents. So every child is already more powerful when he just arrives into this family. So consciously, these parents might not understand that difference. But subconsciously and energetically, the soul feels who is big in this room. If there are 3 people in this room, the souls of each one of them knows very well who is whose weight is larger and whose is smaller. So subconsciously and on just the level of sensation and energetically, a mother and a father feels, I don't want to say afraid of this baby, but in a way, how do you say, when you're in a room with somebody who is like much greater than you in status, for example, like you feel that difference, right? You can feel it just in social settings with people, somebody who is above in some way socially, for example. You feel that. So in this case, not knowing why, but each of the parents instinctively feel that this child is powerful, stronger than them, and potentially dangerous. In a way, just I'm simplifying, but I want you to understand this importance of who is who in this equation. Because if you have felt like somebody has done bad to you, whatever, in your whole life, and that the root of that would go to your childhood, to your parents not treating you well enough. They didn't give you enough love. They didn't give you as much love as you deserved and as much love as they should have given you because you're their child. Blah, blah. Like that feeling that you haven't received enough from them. That comes from understanding and from your idea that they're greater than you and you were smaller, and they should have, could have given you more. But I want to flip that understanding for you to understand the very fact that you incarnated with them already automatically tells us that you are twice as large as them. Technically, just energetically, you're bigger. And now you're bigger, so who is on top, who is on the bottom? You are bigger, and you expect from them, your expectation from them, energetically, how much you can pull, how much love you can pull inside you, will be double of their capacity to give energetically, okay? So just that fact is already tells us that in 99% of the cases, a child will feel unsatisfied with the amount of love that he received or she received from parents. And only maybe in some perfect cases, when both parents are perfectly aware of themselves and they have perfectly balanced relationship, they're able to give like all of themselves to this child, meaning that they actually add up, like man's potential plus the woman's potential, mother and father together, they add up that whole potential, and they actually give this much love to the child, like full size. They give, then the child can actually grow up balanced and aligned because he received exactly as much as he was able to take in. His need for love was met perfectly with the same amount if both parents worked as a team and they were perfect couple, and but that doesn't happen every day. Most of the times we see that at least one of the parents might be not very aligned with himself, so he's unable to give what he's supposed to, and plus he's not giving what you're expecting, or energetically he feels that he is not enough, he's not doing like well enough, he's not sufficient. Plus energetically he feels the pool of your potential. Understand, like there's like a little black hole born into your home, and this black hole is constantly pulling and pulling with the power of like double of your ability to give. That energetically pool, that energetic pool drains both parents, and if they additionally have some things to deal with in their life at that time, maybe I don't know, work, money issues, relationship, or whatever else, then like they basically don't have any extra powers, any extra energy left to even give some extra, like according to your ability to take, receive, to take. So just to understand that, once again, that concept of Sophia, that everything is always right, goes to this basic understanding of these equations, how it all works. Once you understand, you realize that it's perfectly right. Nobody has done anything wrong. They did maximum what they could with what they have, with what they had, with what they are. So is in this whole story, we see that when you as a child, you feel like I'm little and they should be giving me, you're pulling with all your force energetically, and in most cases one of the parents or both of them will feel like they're not doing well enough, that they should have done better, and that they're not good enough parents. And that feeling, because it's a mixture, and it's energetically they're feeling that they're smaller than this object that's living in their house now. The potential, your potential, is causing discomfort basically, to say, just you being there and being heavier of an object than them. And by experiencing that pull, parents or parents both could feel like, subconsciously they could feel like they're not doing good enough, they're not being good enough parents, that they're not loving you enough, they're not giving you enough what you deserve, that they're not being the best parents that you could have received, blah blah blah. And with all of that mentality, they drain even their own energy even lower. So now they have also that guilt of not being good enough parent, that shame that they've produced you, they've brought you into this reality, and now they can't make you happy, they can't love you enough. And so it all adds up. Their technical inability to give you what you're able to receive and what you're waiting technically. Then adding to that their real circumstances in which they find themselves incapable and unable to perform at the level that they would wish to perform for their kids. And so they feel regret and all that drains energy even more. So with all of that, you come to the, wait a second. So with all of that, we go to the understanding that when they, as you grow, that feeling of regret of having you is becoming like a heavy weight on them, and your expectations grow as you grow older. You still feel that they owe you something, and they feel that they screwed up their own life and your own life. And if you come and tell them that you haven't loved me enough, they could answer that, but you didn't love me enough, you didn't respect me enough. they can say. You would answer, but you're the parent, you're the one who's supposed to love me, because you brought me into this world. Like, I didn't ask you for this, you brought me here, so you're like supposed to love me. Like, I'm entitled, automatically entitled for your love. You should love me. You love me more. You should love me more. You should give me more love. Why you're not giving me enough love? You're like, and the parent will say, wait, you should be grateful to me for giving you this ticket to this life. You should be grateful. I brought you here. Where is your gratitude? Where is your respect? So parent would say, you must love me first. Now this is a debate. Who is gonna be, who must love first? So it becomes like a bargain. No, you love me first. No, you love me first, then I will love you. No, you have done this and this and this to me, so you have to prove me love first. Then maybe I will respect you. And so this becomes like who is gonna be loving first. So basically that whole conversation comes down to like bargaining, who is gonna be the child here. No, I deserve love. No, I'm a victim here. No, I'm a victim here. No, I'm a victim. No, I'm a child. You should love me. No, I'm a child. And that bargaining can go on forever until you realize the equation, the physics of it, that if you're incarnated with them, you are bigger. Yeah, you were born little, with a little body, but energetically, as a potential, you are twice as large as them. And now, who should be giving to whom here? If you are bigger, your potential to give is twice as large as their potential to take. It's not like you have your potential to give love is enough to fill up their both of them, like their cups of both of them. And just technically understand that logic. That's what I wish you to understand from this video, is bargaining who is gonna forgive first doesn't get you anywhere. Understanding of how it works can actually be your ticket to freedom and from all these illusions of like having to forgive someone. Once you understand that any parent automatically loves his creation, like his baby, just by the fact that it's his or her. The logic of that love is like the way that you love your arm, for example. It's a part of you. It's a part of you, and you love it just because it's part of you, like your leg or your arm. You love parts of you without questioning. Like if somebody asks you, do you love your arm, or you will not think about it. It's like, that's me, that's part of me, of course. Like, why are you even questioning this? Yeah, maybe I'm not walking around and telling everyone, oh, I love my arm so much, like, oh, this is the best arm in the world, I love it so much, don't you see, this is the... Maybe I don't do this, but like just the fact that this arm is mine is enough for me to know that I love this arm more than any other arms in reality, because this is part of me. This is me, part of me. In the same way, a baby that comes out of me is also part of me. It's created from my flesh. It has my genetics. It's me. It's a little version of me. So that love to your child, like your parents' love to you, is of the same kind. They love you just without a question. That's not even a question. It's like, of course I love you, because it's like, how would I not? You are me. You're like upgraded version of me. You're like me, but new and fresh, and like I admire you. I love you. You're like the best part of me. You're like a new, fresh copy of me. That understanding, once you get that, and usually, as I observe people, they fight with that issue of forgiving parents until they become parents themselves. Usually in that moment when they experience that unconditional love to their own creation, unconditional love to their own child. When they see that baby for the first time, they just feel it. This is how it felt. I love this baby just because it's mine. They're like, maybe I'm not celebrating this love every day, but just that fact that it's mine, it's already enough to feel that thing. Once, like, a lot of people, they click into place the moment when they become parents. Then they understand their own parents, like, okay, I got it now. That's that. Okay, so my parents felt this way for me all along. So they've loved me like in this way, unconditionally. They've loved me their whole life. But then you come with the question, but then how could they be doing all those terrible things to me? Like I get messages about like abuse in childhood and all these terrible things that the people go through in childhood. And here we come to this concept of ability to love. And if your father's or mother's ability to love themselves is not developed, not discovered, for example, your father hates himself, hates his life, hates his own parents, hates his childhood, hates his everything. He's so resistant to this life, to this. He's full of regrets and anger, and he hates his life. He hates himself. He doesn't know how to love his own arm. They sound like his own leg. He doesn't know how to love himself yet. How do you expect him to know how to love another object, even if it's his own arm or leg? He doesn't know it. You are like his arm or leg. Yeah, it's right. If you expect him to love you, that's logical. But the person, he just doesn't know how. He doesn't know. Like, he's doing his best, like to love at least his body. Like, how do I love? At least let's drink some alcohol. That's how else can I express love to my body? I'll just relax it. That's my best solution for, like, that's maximum or what the person can come up with. And from that person, you expect such level of creativity to express love in beautiful ways. He can't, or she can't. She can't even generate that love for herself. So from that point, expecting from that parent love of a certain kind is a very weird thing to do, because understanding that a person who gets, for example, who is angry or aggressive or treating you bad, or like your whole childhood and so on, the root of that is in their own dissatisfaction with themselves, not you. They are not happy that they have the way they lived their life, the way that they are, the way that they, like, I should have done everything better. I should have, like, I've screwed up everything. I've already screwed up this life. There's no hope, and just leave me all alone. And then you come with your childish issues and requests. Understand that it has nothing to do with you. It's their own inability to process this life, to deal with this life. They're scared. They feel trapped. They feel unworthy. They feel sad, basically, and full of regrets and shame and so on, and unable to deal with that because there's like no source of love or support from anywhere, because everyone in the family would be feeling that way. So now let's go back to the idea of forgiveness and giving love. Who should be the source of love in this family? If you are the biggest object in this family, if you energetically are the heaviest consciousness, like as a size-wise or weight-wise, your consciousness is heavier than both of your parents, and you're still expecting something from them. Now here is the moment where we flip the positions of child and parent, this understanding of we're all one, you are me, who is child, who is parent. That's a big question here, because you are larger than them. and they are trapped in that whole negative loop because their parents were same as them, and they also didn't have your parents didn't have tools to be the one who breaks this whole chain of disappointment. Generation after generation, one is not able to give love to next one because he never received, he doesn't know how to give, next one because he never received, he doesn't know how to give, and that goes on forever, until somebody in that whole line of your family with all the generations, until one person stands and turns back into this direction. Instead of pulling, asking for love, at least one starts giving. And that's when the whole shift begins for your whole line of DNA, for your whole soul family, for you, for consciousness of your parents, and just so many benefits from that one realization. Who is the one to give and who is the one to receive? The one who is in the begging position, in that victim's position, is the weak one. And by just the terminology, you are not the weakest one here. You should understand you're double of them. So if you manage to get to that understanding that somebody has to stop and turn, like from that continuous loop of pulling, trying to ask for love, I'm the victim, give me. Somebody has to stop, turn around and start giving. Say, okay, I'll be the one giving. I'll be the one, I have enough for you and for you and for you, understanding. I know you've done better. Yeah, I know you loved me as your arm or leg. You loved me. Just you don't know how to love properly. You don't know how to love your even your own body. So how could I expect more from you? At least you've given me food and shelter. When I was little, you didn't throw me, at least on the street. And maybe they even given you something more than that. So that's enough. At least they helped you to survive while you were little and needed their support. Now you are not that baby anymore, and if you're still trying to pull for that love, and that's already ridiculous. When you understand that you are the biggest one in this line, if you look back, okay, if you already have children, then they are greater than you. But if you continue that whole loop and now turn to your kids and say, like, you give me because, well, actually you can give this video to your kids. Maybe they will be the source of who will start that movement of giving love and understanding that one action changes everything. It just starts a chain reaction of a whole line of DNA opening in a completely different, and a whole lot of trauma being resolved generation after generation back. And from resolving all of that trauma, an energy potential is released, which you can benefit from. I'm also going to mention that you will benefit if you do this. You will technically, energetically become even bigger and greater by giving out love, by shining out light. You actually expand, because that's technicality. Because when you give love to these two, to your parents, some of their wounds and traumas might heal. Once that heals, because you're connected, because you're one, that heals in your DNA as well. You grow by healing them, by looking back and healing them. So instead of healing yourself and going from healer to healer, healing yourself, you can actually start healing them by simply giving them appreciation, understanding, acceptance of what they are. Excuse me. And by giving them love instead of asking for it. And that's when Sophia is activated. Once you start giving love, you will finally receive love from them once you give. And that's when understanding will come, that everything is always right. They did the best they could, and expecting more of them is just illogical. So they loved you, maybe in weird ways, but that's all they could. Even aggression is a form of love, because when you don't care about somebody, you just leave and never look back. But if a person is coming back and fighting and creating mess and chaos, it means he's trying. He's trying, just he can't do better, but he's trying at least. So just that intention is worth thanking him for, him or her. So with this understanding that they loved you, maybe in weird ways, but that was the best they could. So I hope I got that message through. I hope it helps. Ask me if something here was not clear enough and you want some clarifications. Ask me in comments. Looking forward to hearing from you. Bye bye.